was a comedian. I was a professional cheerleader for a team called the Oakland Raiders. All right. Everybody always says that the Dallas Cowboys have the best cheerleaders in the NFL. They say they're so much better than the Raiderettes. I mean, that's true. That's true. They're the best. Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders could dance circles around the Raiderettes if they wanted to. Hey! But if we take it to the streets... Oh, hell no. This is Raiders. Shank, shank, what? How you think we made the squad? That's blood in, blood out, homie.
I suppose we will start this particular webcast by focusing once again on legal brothel owner and liar, Dennis Hof. I am confidently calling him a liar considering the various interviews, actually 3 interviews in particular that I have done in regards to his legal brothel operations. Interviews that I've conducted featuring Sunset Thomas, whose real name is Diane, wonderful woman. A very recent legal brothel owner by the name of Jennifer O'Kane, who has alleged that Dennis Hof sexually assaulted her. And of course, my ex-BFF, known as Desi Foxx, aka Diana Graham Mason. The stories that the 3 women who I just named told me, and that I have interviews featuring on my various YouTube channels, are horrific. And considering that Dennis Hof, as of current, just put out another press release as of today, April 19th, via PR Newswire, in regards to his desire to work with the NFL, I am extraordinarily concerned, because when I first saw Dennis Hof's initial press release, which I have right here, in regards to a, quote, Las Vegas themed Pirates Booty legal brothel to debut with football stadium opening, he specifically stated that he was going to create a legal brothel that was going to be NFL Raiders themed. He can't do that because you have to be an NFL licensed distributor to sell anything with an NFL team logo or the NFL logo's name or brand or trademark on it. Since Dennis Hof put out his first press release, already he was breaching trademark legislation, and this was a breach that I personally decided to notify the NFL's legal team about. And perhaps my notification did some good, because considering that he put out another press release today attempting to backpedal a little bit, I think that he has seen the error in his ways, but still he hasn't seen the error in his ways enough. So I'm going to take a short break because I have been running on fumes over here. I am incredibly busy with, my investigative blogging, my art, my blossoming music career and everything. I have just been running my little legs off. So I do need to take a break before I get into the gist of this webcast. So everyone grab your favorite beverage. I will be right back. And we are going to go into a little bit of detail when it comes to these press releases. And what concerns me the most is that in his new press release, he's stating that he feels that he has a chance to accomplish something in regards to spreading the word, in regards to legalized prostitution. But, there's a time and a place for everything. And the NFL just is not the time or the place for Dennis Hof. And I think that he needs to realize that, especially being that he is, well, really, he's in his twilight years at this stage. He's a very, very old man. So we'll be right back, right here on Alexandra Mayers Live.
Hey guys, it's Mike Walters here. So we just got a hold of the affidavit for search warrant that the cops filed to get Lamar Odom's blood when they were trying to see if it had any drugs in it. The interesting thing about this is they actually clearly say now what they believe Lamar Odom was doing. And specifically, they interviewed the 2 prostitutes that found Lamar Odom unconscious. Those 2 prostitutes told cops they heard Lamar snorting something in the bathroom that they believed was cocaine, probably because that's the most common way this drug is ingested. They also said that they saw Lamar take pills from an unidentified, like a clear bag that had no markings on it, and they weren't unsure what the actual pill was. The affidavit also says that was on video surveillance camera, him taking the pill.
Yesterday was a big day for everyone in Nevada, but especially you. What do you got going on?
Well, we're excited. You know, we've always been Raiders fans. The Raiders, you know, of course, they all patronize the Bunny Ranch, or at least a lot of them. In fact, Darryl Russell got himself in trouble up here in Nevada once, and he was a friend. So anyway, we're excited. You know, we're going to open up one of my places. I got a new place I'm going to open up in southern Nevada because of this, and it's the first sports theme-based brothel in the world. And what we're envisioning is girls in Raiders cheerleaders outfits and sports memorabilia all over the walls, because I've got a lot of Raiders memorabilia, trust me.
I know you just kind of announced it, but are you anticipating, or have you already had any blowback from maybe the NFL or someone like that who don't want the players going up to you?
Boy, wouldn't that be something? The NFL didn't want people having sex? Come on, the football players are known for that. Of course, and at least, look it, they don't have to bring their hookers from Oakland. Oakland and Las Vegas has got the worst illegal hooker problem in America, and now they got a legal alternative for the fans and the guys to go to. You know, we've already said we're going to give 50% off to anybody that works for the Raiders organization. And if they make the Super Bowl, they don't even have to win. They make the Super Bowl, everybody parties for free in the Raiders organization.
Wow.
And here he comes.
Boom. At 3:30 this morning.
It just sounded like a bomb went off in here, just like crazy, like everything was all shaking.
Terrified employees saw an 18-wheeler ram through the gates in reverse and smash into the entrance of the Bunny Ranch.
The reaction was what do we do? And we immediately called 911.
The suspect, Brian Brandt, allegedly stole the big rig from Central Transport in Sparks. The company tells us he is a former employee, angry for being fired in February. Managers found the front door of their facility smashed in this morning and a truck stolen. Owner of the Bunny Ranch, Dennis Hof, says he has no connections to Brandt and doesn't know exactly why he was a target.
My guess is that he knew it'd be worldwide news if he ran his truck into a brothel with 35 hot girls in it that's world famous.
No one got hurt, and Hoff says the ranch will remain open even though damages are estimated to cost around $400,000.
Structural damage is going to be unbelievable. We're going to have to tear the whole front of the building off.
Covering the story, Kai Sisson, Channel 2 News.
All right, everybody, I am back. Now, let's go ahead and get started first in regards to the trademark violations that I personally feel that Dennis Hof has breached. What initially brought my attention to this situation is the strangest thing how it happened. I initially saw the press release by Dennis Hof in regards to his NFL-themed brothel. So, you know, I Google Dennis Hof Raiders to see what comes up, and I saw a video that featured a prominent Las Vegas attorney who's incredibly proficient when it comes to trademark and copyright law.
You sell merchandise with Raiders on it, you better have the permission of the NFL.
And there's your reason why you won't find anything. The league hasn't licensed any gear yet that includes the phrase Las Vegas Raiders. Nevertheless, we found an MGM property on the Strip selling these hats. A trademark expert confirmed Without a license, that's an obvious case of infringement.
Just because there may not yet be a Las Vegas Raiders doesn't mean that that's just open territory for somebody to start using that, selling merchandise under that name.
When I looked at the initial press release that was sent out, this is what it said, and I'm going to read it to you. Quote, and these are supposedly Dennis Hof's words. What we're envisioning is girls in Raiders, cheerleaders outfits, and sports memorabilia all over the walls, end quote. In fact, he did tell it to KTNV Las Vegas, ABC News affiliate, and this was in late March. Quote, Las Vegas has the worst illegal hooker problem in America, and now they've got a legal alternative. Well, I can see where Hof is coming from when he does talk about an illegal hooker problem in Las Vegas. But what's strange is that some of these illegal hookers that he may or may not be referring to, at least one in particular, I know has been employed by his brothel because I've watched her for many years. And considering that it was just last week that the pornographic industry made it known that there is an HIV positive that was just determined within the porn industry. Actually, from what I've heard via the rumor mill, is that it's a she-male or a transsexual performer. And as we know, Dennis Hof, at one point, I don't know if he still does, but he was featuring transsexual performers in his brothel. It just, I think that there's an extreme danger here. I really do. And not just a danger in regards to STDs. Now, I do understand that testing protocols and whatnot might be, well, I'm not going to say it's safe. but just considering that, again, I think that the timing of all this is not right. But all over this initial press release, he's got the trademark of NFL in here. He's got the word Raiders. You know, he's going to attract a lot of business utilizing the NFL and the Raiders. And I think that that's not quite right, because last time I checked, isn't the NFL supposed to be a family-friendly franchise? I don't know a lot about football. I'm not really a football fan. The only football players I can think of, I would say, would be Warren Moon and Tim Tebow. I think that's his name, Tim Ebo or Tim Tebow, you know, but I just can't imagine all of these mainstream NFL players who have these endorsements that are based upon their morality, their ability to be a good role model, being okay with promoting prostitution, be it legal or illegal. So I'm going to read out loud the new press release by Dennis Hof, and I'm going to break it down. And the way that I personally read this new press release, it almost comes off as like a threat of some sort of, or maybe like a blackmail motive to the owners of the NFL. So here we go. I initially found this on, let's see, what website was this on? Well, it was released on prnewswire.com. So this is a press release out of Carson City, Nevada, dated April 19th, today. Dennis Hof, owner of the Bunny Ranch and 6 other legal brothels throughout the state of Nevada, including the recently announced Raiders-inspired Pirates Booty Sports Brothel, slated to open before the new Las Vegas Raiders Stadium launches in 2020, is offering NFL owners and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell the opportunity to make Pirates Booty the official brothel of the NFL Football League. Quote, I strongly feel we have a chance here to accomplish something more meaningful than merely inaugurating our sure-to-be successful business ventures, end quote, Hof said in a blog post on his company's website. Quote, I think that we can work together to eradicate the prostitution-related issues faced by the National Football League and build a scandal-free future for your sex-starved NFL players. Eugene Robinson, Lawrence Taylor, Quentin Groves, and Warren Sapp are just a handful of NFL players that could have benefited from satisfying their urges with a licensed working girl at a legal brothel instead of breaking the law and taking their chances with illegal prostitutes, Hof said. I'd stop right there because he's calling out some professional football players who I've heard these names before. I don't know anything about these players, but who is he to link these professional athletes to his adult industry venue? Did he get permission from these people to do that? Isn't this some sort of like a libel or defamation kind of thing that he's doing right here? Or is he, because the whole thing, I mean, it wasn't very long ago that we had the Lamar Odom situation. I mean, the way I see it, any professional athlete who would go to Dennis Hof's brothel, considering what just happened with Lamar Odom, and he's that guy who was with, which Kardashian? Khloe Kardashian. I mean, they would have to be out of their minds because from my assessment, Lamar Odom almost died.
He was completely covered in blood and barely breathing. Pictures are extremely terrifying, where basketball player Lamar Odom was discovered by the workers of Nevada brothel. The first of the 3 pictures have been revealed for the first time by a leading website, which shows the 35-year-old sitting barefooted on a couch, looking drained and disheveled. Khloe Kardashian's ex-husband was seen wearing a red t-shirt and shorts and holding a bottle of water in the room of the brothel where he spent 4 days. A woman's bare legs can also be seen in short, which was taken around 18 hours before Lamar was found unconscious. Apart from red and black, sports bags and sex toys along with candles and lubricants can also be seen in the picture. Lamar is recovering fast now, and his estranged wife Khloe Kardashian is on his bedside throughout for the past 1 week.
I don't think the NFL needs to give Dennis Hof the time of day. I think that they need to get their legal counsel on this immediately. Primarily because I really don't like the idea of legal prostitutes dressing up in NFL trademarked, licensed Raiders team garb. And I'm going to tell you why. There are hundreds, thousands, maybe millions of little girls who have a male family member who's big into football, right? And as a girl, as a female, you might not be so much into football, but you love the cheerleaders. I mean, there's even a NFL trademarked and branded reality show that's based all around the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders and their tryouts and, you know, everything it takes to be a cheerleader for the NFL.
Solo talent presentation. It is a time for every candidate to show us what they're best at. Their ability to captivate and hold us as an audience.
Now that's a wild solo.
Technical legs, extension, control, musicality, that really speaks to me.
And that's how you do it.
And what a lot of people don't realize is that that's quite the status symbol for a lot of women. Having that title as an NFL cheerleader nowadays is on parallel with being like a beauty contestant winner. You can't just be a pretty girl or a good dancer. You have to have good character. You have to be a girl who comes from a good background. You have to have some morals about you. It takes a lot of work. They take it very seriously when you represent that NFL brand. And those NFL cheerleaders do not want to be equated with prostitutes, legal or not.
Have you had any criticism, like people saying you're trying to capitalize off of this great thing for Nevada and you're like sullying it in some way? Any talk like that?
Absolutely not. And yes, we are trying to capitalize on it. That's what Nevada's about.
He just seems like he doesn't understand the difference between sex for the right reasons and sex for the wrong reasons. And of course, there's tons of shades of gray in there. That's why they have that movie, 50 Shades of Grey. But no. It's if the NFL decides to go ahead and give Dennis Hof a pass on this, then from my perspective at least, the NFL has failed all of their fans. And I sincerely do implore the various venues out there that are NFL advertisers, venues and organizations and companies such as Pepsi Cola. I'm sure there's various sports apparel companies that work with the NFL. Again, the NFL is a family-friendly franchise that's really geared and targeted toward middle America. And the last thing that middle American youth needs is to be introduced to the world of prostitution. And I'm not knocking the prostitutes. If you want to be a legal sex worker, then be one. I'm not a hypocrite. A lot of you out there know my history. But what I do know is that when you do choose to take a certain path in life, you need to be willing to deal with the repercussions of making those choices. Dennis Hof, you have made a choice. You made a choice to walk on the fringes of society. And honestly, Mr. Hof, the only way that you get away with it is due to one factor. And you want to know what that factor is? White privilege. If you were a black man, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You wouldn't be allowed to. You have white privilege. You have good old boy privilege. And I assume that you think that your good old boy privilege reaches and extends into the NFL. I don't have white privilege. I don't have male privilege. I don't have good old anything privilege. But what I do have is the privilege of having an intelligent mind. And this intelligent mind is a strong mind. And this mind knows that I don't want to live in a world to where when I turn on the Super Bowl, I see your face smiling and smirking like an asshole, promoting women, human beings with souls, who maybe you view as property and material goods, but who I don't view as property and material goods. And I will be damned if I sit here and say nothing when I know damn well I have an interview with a woman who looked me square in the eye and told me that she believes in her heart of hearts, in her soul, that you sexually assaulted her. No,